listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
Welcome, everyone, to the Narrative Podcast, and I am your host, Halsey Allen. Hope you had a great, productive week. So before diving in, I welcome all my narrators. Got ahead of myself. Welcome anybody new that is currently listening right now to my podcast. I will, for you new listeners, I will break it down what my podcast is about and what I do here. So first and foremost, it's called the Narrative Podcast. It's called the Narrative Podcast for a reason. And the reason is to change the narrative. You see, the media depicts original people and original culture in a negative light. They just basically flip the narrative to sell news and generate headlines. They basically play up negative stereotypes and nuances within our culture to make us look and appear a certain way. And just for you newbies, it's just newly tuning into my platform. When I'm saying original people, I'm referring to us, Black people. I just recently had an epiphany about the word black, so I, for some time now, have been saying original people in replacement of the word black. I believe in the power of words on my platform, and so if you look at black in the dictionary, it has a lot of negative connotation, and it's my personal belief that the powers that be that assigned us that word to represent us as a people as a whole, already had that knowledge about, the psychological effects of, saying that word out loud. Because when you look at the black in the dictionary, it refers to everything negative. Black, dirty, black, dead. I can go on and on and on, or you can pull out a dictionary and just look at yourself. But what you cannot do is refute that we were the original man and woman on this planet. There was not anywhere on earth that we didn't originally inhabit. Speaking just for original people here in America, we originated everything. America would not exist without us. We won not one, but two pivotal wars that gave birth to America. If we didn't win those two wars, the America you now know would not exist. But anyway, so I hope I got that cleared up for you. Basically, I just tell our stories from our perspectives on our own terms and conditions. I showcase and highlight us in a positive light, all our accomplishments, all our successes, all our positive traits. And basically, my platform is to edify, empower, and impact us as a whole. So I don't do gossip, I don't do dirt kicking, and no foolishness. I do tell a couple one-liners here and there, but it's nothing denigrating or derogatory towards us. I do keep it real. When one of us is doing something that makes us all look bad, I will call that type of behavior out on my platform. But other than that, it's all positivity, and it's basically just a love fest on the Narrative Podcast. So I hope that sums it up nicely for you. Also, for new listeners, my podcast I have divided into sections. Each section has a speaking point, and I will describe, each section as I come to them. And, I added speaking points to make it time efficient because it's my personal belief, that if you're just talking in circles without a speaking point, it's a rant, not a podcast. So I want my message to be clear. I want my message to be concise. And I want my message to resonate with my listeners. So before I even dive in, I just got a disclaimer. This podcast is monetized. Let me see if I got the right. This podcast is monetized, so it has ad rolls as they call it, and they will occur I don't know when they'll occur while I'm recording. So, an ad could pop up in mid-speech while I'm recording, or in mid-speech. So I don't know. But the purpose of them is to obviously, generate the clicks and views and to get me money, basically. And so that's why I have it monetized, so I can grow my platform and give you guys a better experience and do other things. All right, so now that I got that out the way, one more bit of business I want to address before I jump right into the content. I want to send a belated condolences to the family of Jesse Powell. So he was a 90s R&B singer. I think 98 was his prominent year, and I'm going to just say it, not to offend any artists that came after the 90s. 90s was the definitive year for R&B singers, black R&B or original people R&B singers. I'm trying not to say black on my platform, but yeah, they did the thing in the 90s, and it just, after that, everything else been subpar. We can debate about it, but proof's in the pudding. 90s R&B, just nothing really holds a candle to it. And Jesse was definitely a force in the 90s. He had tons of hits, but the biggest hit you might remember him from is the song titled "You." But so sending love, light, and healing energy to his family, everybody that knew him, any colleagues, anybody in the entertainment industry that performed on the same stage with him or, came into his company, condolences, and he will be missed, and definitely R&B is going to miss him. So I know he was doing concerts and touring and doing, 90s parties. But that was a great year for R&B. And he, like I said, he was a huge voice in that time era, and he will be missed. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right on into the content. First of all, I have a spotlight section or highlight section where I'm highlighting original people-owned businesses. I'm gonna just say I usually have 3 to 4 businesses to highlight. Today, I'm only highlighting one. They check all my boxes. I'll tell you all my boxes when I get to that section, but I'm just letting you know I only got one business to highlight today. not because I'm lazy or not because there's not thousands of them out there. This one particular one had a very interesting, unique story, checked all my boxes for my highlight section, and so because I quite frankly, I think I overthink that section sometimes. It's like I really be racking my brain to give you my guys options for businesses to support. But this one, it's like when I get to that section, it's a mic drop. So it checks all my boxes, and it's just like, wow. But anyway, starting this thing off with the invitation to original people-owned businesses, original people that own their own businesses, own or operate their own business. If you need or would like some free promotion, please hit me up at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host. In the subject bar, type the word promo. And in the body of the email, tell me a little bit about yourself, business, product, or service, and I will gladly plug it on this platform for 110% free. And the reason why I'm doing that is to help keep the original dollar circulating in the original community. And it was with my very intention is that you support the community that you're rooted in. Just hoping that you hire your own, have your own nonprofit organization, or sponsor something in the community. But just basically look out for us and help us, because we're the only ones that's going to help us. So with this liberation thing, with this movement thing, we got to support one another. So that's why I do that particular section. And like I said, if you need or would like some free promotion, please hit me up at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host. In the subject bar, type promo. Body of the email, tell me a little bit about yourself, business, product, or service, so I can give you a proper drop on here and get that business raked in for you. And once again, 110% free on the strength of reach one, teach one, and building, and just, sounding off for the cause. All right. Now, second section of my podcast. This is promotional contest exclusively for the Narrative Podcast, and it's designed to be an incentive reward for people that have been supporting me since day one. Get a little something for yourself, and an incentive offer for people new to the podcast to tune in and listen to me on a regular basis. And get yourself something free just by participating in the contest topic. And the contest topic is to share your most recent Shopping While Black experience. The contest itself is called the Chew On This contest. It's called the Chew On This contest because I'm offering an edible prize, a bulk supply of your favorite snack. So just for participating in the topic, tell me your most recent Shopping While Black experience. And again, I thought of this title before I had the epiphany about the word black, but it kind of makes sense because it's used in a negative connotation, describing a bad experience while shopping, so it kind of works. But anyway, to enter the contest, it's the exact same email address that I gave for the free promotion. The way I'm separating them is through the subject bars. So to enter the Chew On This contest, in the subject bar, you would type Chew On This, and then / or dash, which is ever more convenient for you, Shopping While Black. Or if you don't want to type the whole word Shopping While Black, you can just put SWB in all caps. Body of the email, share your most recent Shopping While Black experience, along with your mailing address so I know where to send your prize. And then lastly, tell me what type of snack you want. Very simple. The only thing I'm asking when you share your Shopping While Black experience, just please try to highlight it, just get right to the meat. I don't want to read a novel, just like, make it, just summarize it, just tell me, the most important details. Like, how do they treat you? Like, I don't want to know what you did before you left the house and ate breakfast and all that. Just like what happened when you got to the establishment. How did they treat you? Did they follow you around the store? Did you already know the way they were treating you was racially motivated? That's what I mean by Shopping While Black. So, and the reason why I'm having the contest is to keep the conversation going, because that's, continuously happens to everybody. Original people living here in America and original people living abroad in other countries as well. So, we can all relate. It has all happened to us, and it will all continue to happen to us until we get together and establish our own, which we're doing slowly. We're very slowly but surely establishing our own. But in the meantime, until it's like universal all across the board, everywhere, you find original people, we have our own community to, just peacefully live and not get bothered. It's going to continue to happen. So we got to keep the conversation going. All right, moving right along. This is going to be a kind of short one today, guys. Because like I said, I try to keep them under an hour anyway, but this is going to be super duper short, probably like the shortest narrative podcast episode that I've ever had. And again, not because I'm lacking or I ain't got nothing to talk about, with that highlight section. Like I said, I usually do 2 to 3 types of businesses. I'm just only giving one. So that's going to shoot my time in half like tremendously. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Doesn't take away from the experience. You can listen to it. I'm over 100 episodes in. And my platform is growing and growing and growing. Thanks to all you guys. All right, so on to my highlight section. So this is really the definitive official start of my podcast. And what I'm doing here in this section is highlighting businesses owned and operated by original people. And the qualifying factors I use is A, are they originally owned and operated by original people? B, do they hire their own? C, do they, do for the community? Do they give back? D, what's their background story? Because the types of businesses that I usually highlight is just, people with little to no educational background in what they're doing. Or if they do have an extensive, educational background and training, it doesn't necessarily align up with, with the business that they're starting. It's just like they wanted to do something. They was passionate about it. They was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want to work for myself. I want to do something different with my life. I'm going to just take a shot in the dark and, bet on me, bet all the chips on me. Those are the types of businesses that I like to highlight. And then also they do some type of philanthropy. They give back. They either have their own nonprofit organization, pay into one, or sponsor things in the neighborhood. Something, some type of giving back. And the reason why I do the highlight section is to provide the positive frames of reference that we are, entrepreneurs. We can do for self. We enjoy doing for self. We love doing for our brother and our sister. And, leveling up. So to put out that positive frame of reference that it is possible, because the powers that be, the way they compile this media, they always show us financially destitute, having to turn to illegal activity to financially sustain ourselves, or just being on some type of public assistance and not being able to do for yourself. And and that's just like a false representation of us. So, on my podcast, I'm all about telling the truth. So I got to put us in a positive light and, show us how it really goes down. We are entrepreneurs. We, are captains of industry. We do basically just run the world. Like, our influence runs the world. We are the gatekeepers of cool. Nothing's officially cool until we stamp it. But anyway, off to my highlight section with my one business I got, because it checks every single last box that I just named. And then finally, the last qualifying factor, it lines up to my theme. And this month's theme is the season of fall. So, or this week's, I might change it when I get to the month of November, because I might just do, like my first broadcast, I might highlight businesses that, will help you with the Turkey Day dinner, and then after that, I'll probably go into the 13 days of Christmas, Xmas, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, highlighting my one business that I have for you today. So my methodology for today was, it is the season of fall, and the first thing that comes to fall, my mind in fall, is, a seasonal drink in the fall, something that we all drink, and it's just kind of symbolic of the season of fall. I mean, they sell it all year round, but it just hits different around this time because, the product is in season. And the beverage that I'm speaking about is apple cider. So it definitely hits different in the fall, and this next business I will be highlighting specializes in the production of apple cider. Oh, they also do donuts too, but I'll get to that in a second. So the name of the business is the Detroit Farm and Cider. They also go by Farm and Sit. So like when you pull it up, it's the same owner. So it's like either or, Detroit. I think they're trying to decide on the name. Detroit Farm and Cider or Farm and Sit, because it comes up as both, but it's the same one owner. The website is www.detroitfarmandcider.com. Physical address 1600 Lawrence Street, Detroit, Michigan, 4826. Telephone number, area code 313-915-0057. And the founder's name is, oh shoot, did I write her name down? Oh yeah, Leandra King. And So she had a very, very interesting background story. Now the article didn't really specifically say how she just started the farm, like what prompted her to start a farm out of all the stuff she could do in the world. And that's kind of what I try to do in this section is to, tell the process, but I can't share information I don't have. So I got what I got. Basically, she had a turbulent past. Both parents addicted to substances, controlled substances. At one point in time, she found herself homeless. A mentor, picked her up. Somebody that mentored her in her youth, seen her struggling, picked her up in 2015. She got herself together. We got her, a hotel and all that. She cleaned herself up. She's always been into agriculture, so she started her very first farm in 2015. And 2 years later, she started a nonprofit called Find Our Roots. And Find Our Roots basically, teaches agriculture and other survival skills for inner city youth of Detroit. So the farm that she's located on, she has livestock. They have, a petting zoo as well as apple orchard. They press apple cider right on site. So they, it's a very fresh product. It ain't been sitting. Cause cider is just basically like fermented apple anyway, but but they press it up for you right there on site. And she also sells donuts as well. And they also do like goat yoga. And goat yoga is a whole thing. Like I'm not even playing. Like it's a thing. Like goat yoga is a whole thing, and they do that on their farm. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be like this one's going to be super short. Before I go to my next section, I do want to stress the importance for business owners. Like I say all the time, I've been saying on this platform, when you start your own business, also be looking to start your own nonprofit organization. Because see, the nonprofit, your business can pay into your nonprofit organization, and it's a tax write-off. You get all kind of tax breaks. So for your business, and all kinds of write-offs for your business for donating to your nonprofit organization. So essentially, you would be paying yourself. You'll be getting it back all over the board. So, it'd behoove you to, start a nonprofit organization when you're, at some point, when you're crossing over the waters into starting your own business. And not to mention, it's just a good, humane thing to do. Because a lot of people just get their own business and just move out and just me and mine, and that's what's tearing our community up, is just me and mine mentality. I'm just worried about me and mine and nobody else. But anyway, I digress. Another thing she's doing is she's trying to eventually start a farm to table. She's starting farm to table dinners. She's trying to make it a regular thing. She got like 3 chefs under her employ coming up with original menu ideas. So it's like really fresh food. She's using the livestock, so it's like it's nothing, no hormones, no antibiotics. It's like like people say free range, but that's free range for real because she got the livestock there. You know, they're getting exercise. They ain't getting pumped up with no steroids. For people that actually eat meat, I don't eat meat, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to at least have, like, for real grass-fed stuff. And so, like, on a farm, you know, you'll be, like, free from all that junk that they're putting in the meats, like in grocery stores. So, if you're going to eat it, at least eat it in its natural element. So that'll do it for that section. And, you know, we're going to give a warm round of applause for Leandra King and the Detroit Farm Insider. Yeah, that's what I said in Farm Insider. Yeah, I'm about to get better at that. I just like, it's all over the place. All right, so my next section is the spotlight section. In the spotlight section is basically I'm giving roses to a prominent figure in our community. It's usually in the entertainment industry, recording artists, actors, actresses, writers, producers, public figures, philanthropists, just basically anybody in the eye of the public that represents us well, you know, is always speaking on the cause or doing their parts to help us in the cause. And I say the cause, not the struggle, because I believe in the power of words on my platform, because if you say struggle, then it will feel like you're struggling. But, you know, I guess another good word to describe it would be the plight, you know, original people have. So, you know, that's the type of people that I spotlight in this section. And then another sidebar that I've been saying, and I'm going to keep saying until somebody proves me wrong. I believe I started the wave for spotlighting, because before I added the spotlight section to my podcast, I was not hearing nor seeing people spotlighting anybody. So that's how I know I'm, you know, just really causing shock waves out here online. So I might not see it in my views and my, you know, algorithms and all that, but I know people are listening to me. I know people want to see more content from me. I know you eventually want to hear some guests and, you know, see the transition and the growth. But the people that have been listening to me know my platform's growing and I'm doing things. I got all kinds of projects. But yeah, the spotlight is definitely a head nod that I'm being watched, or listened to rather, since it is an audio format. But anyway, on to the spotlight of the day. It is my extreme pleasure to announce the spotlight of the day. This is like a very, very talented sister, very just beautiful, well-rounded human being. Has given us so much to us in, you know, the time that she's been in the entertainment industry, and, you know, has been a great role model for, you know, all original women, and proving that you don't have to succumb to the evils of the industry to make a good living, that you can take a moral stance. And, she was definitely a force in the industry without really getting stripped down butt naked and, showing off her goodies. And just, embracing her natural features. She has locks on her album. Like, she still wore makeup, but it was like little to none. Just, you use it really sparingly. And ain't nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying? When I say these things, I don't want to offend my female listeners, any female listeners that might have had some surgery, a BBL, or augmentation or whatever. I just want my sisters to know that y'all where it's at. You're already perfect when you come out the womb. Like, you are our portal into this universe. So you guys are already perfect. You just have to believe it. Like, it's your body, it's your choice. If you want to get some surgery, and if you feel that it makes you feel good about yourself, who am I? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I always tell all my female friends and female relatives and acquaintances, less is more. You ain't got to do too much to keep a man's attention. We very simple creatures. And creatures of habit at that. So, you can do a lot with just a smile and a wink. But anyway, on to spotlighting one of my very favorite artists. This is none other than Mrs. Lauryn Hill. Born Lauren Noel Hill, May 26, 1975, she attended high school. And I'm just like giving you the brief rundown because she has such an extensive resume, and I could just really be all hours and hours trying to break down every single time period where she excels, because she ain't never, all throughout her career, she's never missed. She's a triple threat. Quintuple threat. I don't even know how many threats she is. She's just so talented. She plays instruments. She writes music. She acts. She produces. Like, she done took a hiatus from Hollywood for personal reasons, but we're all family. That's a beast. That entertainment industry is a monster. And when you got somebody like pure, lighthearted like that, it's probably just best to walk away. So basically the story is, if you know the Fugees at all, unless you've been living under a rock or just too young to know, her career basically started when she met one third group member, Pras, in high school. Asked her to join a group that he was forming, and she said yes. And as the rest they say is history. And again, I'm just summarizing it, not giving you, the blow by blow. I believe it was more in depth than that. She had probably more trials and tribulations than what I'm saying, but I'm just, again, for time efficiency from my platform, because, I don't want to just drone on hours and hours and hours. But after that, it been pretty much a wrap. Television, movies. Her breakthrough role was Sister Act 2. Forget her character's name. It's been quite a while, but definitely killed it. She's been on soap operas, had so many cameos. She regular on a soap opera. I think it was Young and Restless, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I know it was for sure. She had a reoccurring role on a soap opera. Um, it's just like she lived a very charmed life as an entertainer when she was prominent in the entertainment industry. And then, like I said, being a very good example for, young sisters that you don't have to take your clothes off. You don't have to play their game to get that spin on the radio. You just got to play the talent. You got to be talent, play your strong suit. You don't have to succumb and do that. Take the casting couch route to get, ahead. And then when I'm saying this, again, clarifying, I don't think I'm like super holy or super righteous. I'm, hey, I do my fair share of smut watching. But I'm just saying, like, everything as an entertainer, you got young girls watching you, and you just need to know that. And you can disclaim all you like to and say, well, hey, I'm just here for the bag. I never said I was a role model. For people like that, one day you're going to have a child. That's going to be your karma. One day you're going to have a child, and she's going to be shaking her behind and taking her clothes off, emulating what she sees. But yeah, she's married to Zod Marley. If I'm saying the brother's name right, well, I'm just like Bob Marley's son. Like, you can hit your Googles up. I think she got like 5 or 6 kids by him. I think like, the oldest is like 19 or something like that, 20. Yeah, just epic, legendary. All her songs are just soulful and melodic and just, just spiritual. Just really just shakes you up when you hear it, and resonates. So she is just like crafted artistry. She had humble beginnings, got booed on the Apollo. So, wasn't all roses starting out. And I'm sure she probably they booed a couple more times, when the Fugees was starting out. I believe I had seen a documentary said their very first album flopped. Like they barely made over $1,000. But, the record label took another shot and let them do another album. And then, well, we all know what happened from there. All of them, successful legends in their own right, but especially Miss Lauryn Hill, she just forever, molded and shaped the way the industry was in her time that she had, when she was an affluent force in the industry, keeping that purity, keeping that articism, keeping that integrity, and just, that glow and that confidence and that just caring about what she does for a living. So that's all the reasons why I'm spotlighting her in this section. I don't believe we celebrate her enough. Just so many things, because, with hip hop and R&B, fusing and being able to do like both of them masterfully, not just good. Like, she doesn't just sing, she can sing. She don't just spit, she spit. Like, so, and then she can really act too. Like, all the roles she's ever been in, she's, portrayed believable roles. Like, nothing far-fetched and nothing like, oh man, get the hell on out of here with that. So all of them been down to earth, believable roles that she, all her parts. Like I said, we're fortunate enough to, got graced with her presence when she was in the industry. Maybe one day she'll return back to us and give us some future projects. Maybe she will probably like build something, like have her own network, have her own streaming business or something like that. But anyway, she's just like one of the female artists to end all female artists in both genres, in R&B and hip hop. And we was, very fortunate to have had her in her prime, and I hope, she finds the peace and the healing that she's looking for and can one day return to us in a concert or something, because, it's a lot of traumatic things happened to her. That's why she fell back from the industry. But, maybe one day she'll grace us with her presence again. But she definitely earned this spotlight today, and give a warm narrative podcast round of applause for Miss Lauryn Hill. All right. So next section is my health and wellness section. And in this section, what I'm doing is basically giving, examples of how to live a healthy, active, fit lifestyle. And I believe it's really impertinent that us as original people, we strive to keep our immune systems fortified, our minds clear of clutter, so that we do not succumb to airborne pathogens and any other bad, nasty stuff they got, for us. They're like literally in the laboratories making up things that, genetically attacks our unique genetic makeup. Like it's in our food, it's in our cosmetics, it's in our cleaning products. Just things like specifically engineered to attack us. So we got to, stay fortified and keep our armor up. So we have to eat we have to eat clean, we have to think clean. We have to be, spiritually sound, because that's where all the fronts we're being attacked. We're being attacked economically, we're being attacked spiritually, we're being attacked physically, we're being attacked mentally. They're weaponizing the media to, play tricks on us. Trying to warp and twist reality and make us view and see ourselves a certain way and feel some type of way about ourselves in a bad way. So, in this section, what I'm doing is just offering, tips to that will help, you live a healthy, prosperous life. I don't got all the answers. I'm not a herbalist. I'm not a shaman or none of that. I'm just a guy that made some healthy choices, and I'm living a good life with no regrets. And I want to pass that along to my listeners. And if you get something out of it, great. If you don't, hey, everything ain't for everybody. So today's health and wellness tip, what I usually do is the health benefits of a veggie, a fruit, plant, herb, elixir, roots, or, some type of breathing exercise, some type of mindful breathing, some type of meditation, some type of metaphysical thing. And today I think I will be doing some type of metaphysical thing. And it's the most important thing you can do, in the morning. This is like to start your day off right. Now they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That is a lie. First and foremost, you should not be eating right when you wake up. Matter of fact, you should only really be eating one meal of the day because our bodies, they only process one thing at a time. We're not cows, we're human beings. You see, it stores like energy. So it's like basically like sugars and stuff. And then whatever doesn't get used gets like stored as fat. And then the fat builds up, and then the inflammation sets in. And after the inflammation sets in, that's when you start getting all these ailments and diseases. But anyway, the first thing which you need to do to start your day off right, get you some water, and then get your mind right. And how do you get your mind right? You start it off with a mantra. Now, mantras differ from affirmation. A mantra is basically like, to get your spirit aligned, to get all the negativity out of you. An affirmation is is specifically for targeted you. So an affirmation is just something specifically for yourself. If you got a specific goal you want to achieve, you have to affirm it. You have to say it. Words shape reality. I say that time and time again on my platform. Words shape reality. The things that leave your mouth take on shape, take on form. They reverberate all around you. So you got to be careful about what you're saying. And that's another reason why I'm doing this platform. Because again, the media, the words they say about us and our people takes form and shape. And you can look at our neighborhoods and know what I'm saying is true. Because in the music, it's in the literature, it's in, all that negativity, all those negative stereotypes. But, you can change your world by a simple mantra. And the mantras are very short, very concise, but it changes the atmosphere. It makes you feel good upon leaving. Of course, you can meditate as well. Of course, you can pray as well. But prayer is a form of meditation. Sorry, Christians. Prayer is a form of meditation. They get very offended. They want to throw out that scripture verse saying, you're conjuring. You're doing black magic, saying affirmations and mantras. There's Christian affirmations. Like when you're reading the Bible, you're saying affirmation. When you're in Bible study, you're affirming what you're reading. So your argument don't even make sense sometimes. Like, I love my Christian family, but sometimes y'all don't be making sense, man. Y'all just be saying stuff. But anyway, so you can start yourself off with a very simple mantra. You can design unique ones for you, like something really pleasing to your soul, something that makes you feel good when it rolls off your mouth. And you will know what's for you. You just got to pick some words. Matter of fact, you probably come up with your mantra through meditation. Because meditation is key for self-exploration and revelations. To have revelations about yourself, your journey and your path. But I say one every morning and it works for me. I say, I'm grateful for this day. God loves me. I am enough. I give myself permission to succeed. I always win. The universe has my back. I will have a productive and successful day today and every single day after today. And it just makes you feel good and whole and complete. And, the anxiety just rinses right away and anything you're worried about and just supercharges that confidence like you got this. I mean, hip hop is a perfect example of mantras, things people say like, songs that are still popular today. Like, for example, like Jay-Z, he was saying he was a billionaire years ago in his rhymes. He like coming up with like symbol statuses like Rock Nation, Rockefeller, saying it over and over again. And now look at him, he's a billionaire. Telling this stuff over and over again. So you want to manifest something, you got to tell yourself, got to tell yourself something. Like whatever you're trying to build in your life, whatever you're trying to construct, whatever you're trying to attract, you have to use your words. Which is a perfect segue to my final thought of the day. But before I come to the final thought of the day, my next section is speaking point of the day. So my speaking point of the day, usually what I do, and by the way, I'm done with the health and wellness tip if you didn't know, because it was just super simple. Speaking point of the day. Now what I do in the speaking point of the day, I usually address current issues, things trending in the media, things specifically geared towards our community, or just anything on my mind, a self-observation, something I have noticed that affects us as a whole, that we need to work on, self-included, or just, just real talking. And today I don't. The last couple of days, I did two lives when I was riffing on the black church, because I had to clarify, and I went into a whole nother riff, because it's so many things wrong there. So many destructive habits there that we learned there. I had to just keep on kind of revisiting it, and there's still like a whole bunch I can say and kind of want to say, but I'm not going to do that. I think I already made my point. And like I said on my live on Thursday, like not all of them, I didn't mean to make a generalization, because some of them are really, really good, and some of them really, really help people. Like from, look at them when they first came and then look at them now. So, all of them are not horrible, but most of them is just like, destroying our people. So my speaking point today, and I feel like this is a remixed topic, but I have to, every once in a while, I kind of revisit an old topic. I think I first started talking about this when I first started doing the podcast. I think I was way back in like episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere in the single digits. when I was talking about self accountability. So today's speaking point will be it has self accountability aspects to it, but basically, as a people, sometimes we don't know when to call our dogs off. Because certain situations, you got to just walk away from it and say, hey, you got it. It ain't even worth it to keep, jumping out a window with somebody that has nothing to lose, that don't care. Why are you going to throw your whole life away arguing with somebody that don't care and really kind of hopes you do take it it elevates and escalates to the next level. And they'll do things to goat you into doing it. They'll be talking about your family and they'll, talk about your parents, your children, and just people that don't even got nothing to do with, your disagreement, personal disagreements you have with them. So sometimes you just have to be emotionally intelligent and just, I'm going to let you have this one. You got to give passes to each other, is what I'm saying. And we don't give passes to each other, but we'll give passes to everybody else, but not each other. We sure won't. If one of us says something that another one of us don't like, it's when I see you, it's on sight. When I catch you slipping out of bounds, it's on sight. But it ain't out on sight to them law enforcement officers that'll kill us without warning, without reading us our rights. It ain't on sight to them. It ain't on sight to the Amber Geigers and the Zimmermans and the McMichaels. They got a trial. It wasn't on sight for them. Or the ones walking around free. It wasn't on sight for oh boy. What's the one they got now? It wasn't on sight for Chauvin. They had him in the grocery store walking around. Somebody had filmed him who was just buying his groceries before they got him in. Wasn't on sight for him. But when another one of us offends another one of us, it's on sight. Like if I say something you don't like on the internet, you locking onto my location, you going GPS, lock onto my location to confront me. And it probably wasn't nothing anyway. It was probably because half the times it'd be a misunderstanding. It's easy to misunderstand a text message. It's easy to misunderstand a telephone conversation because bad reception. You might take a long pause, think somebody's taking a long pause when really the call's dropping. Or you might detect aggression that's not there. You might think somebody, turning up on you and they're just really trying to talk loud enough where they can hear you. Or they can't hear you when they're talking loud. So sometimes it be just misunderstandings. But it's on sight though. The misunderstanding is on sight. We can't go somewhere and just chop it up and try to talk it out. We got to respond and react immediately. Like if somebody stepped on your Jordans, it's on sight. Not even giving the brother or sister the opportunity to be like, oh, my bad, sorry. It's on sight. You're going to kill him on sight. You're going to punch him on sight. But you won't be on sight to a Caucasian person. You won't be on sight to a European, to a whatever, anybody that's not you. You don't want to talk it out. You're going to handle your business. You're going to punch them in the face or, get the weapon, stab you or whatever. We got to start learning how to give passes. Because everything don't require immediate retaliation. Everything don't require you really even got to say something back to them. Everything don't require a clap back. Everything doesn't require a response. Like, if you see somebody type a dumb comment, like to my content creators, instead of going back and forth with them on Twitter or, Shade Room or whatever, like, what's understood ain't gotta be explained. Like, sometimes you gotta just let somebody play themselves out of position. Because if you be quiet, you can just pick up on a lot. If you remain quiet, you can see who's really about that action, who's really just scared to death. Because some people that talk loud and got all that bravado, they really just afraid you're going to do something. And they're telling on themselves. They scared. They scared. But they want to try to perpetrate the fraud of like, yeah, I'm really that N-word. And they really not that N-word. They really just like really super scared. And hoping it don't go that way. So sometimes you just gotta, give them a pass. I mean, I can't tell you how to live your life, and, I don't know about people's cultural upbringings and how you grew up in your house. But me coming into my own, fully maturing, like I'm not the same me like 8 or 9 years ago, and I'm glad I'm not. Because, I probably, if I would have maintained that mentality, I probably would be dead right now. Like, I probably would not be here if I, had that exact same mentality from 10, 15 years ago as now that I'm in my 40s, if I kept that same energy. Because we're on this planet to evolve and grow. And there's people that's going to try to suck you into their mess. Because they see you and they want your peace, they want your happiness. They want your tranquility, but, they don't know how to acquire it, and especially our own people, because we've been so traumatized, we've been so stigmatized that, it's hard to accept peace. It's hard to accept that because we've been having so much ingrained in us and programmed into us that it's automatic, like an involuntary response, that I'm hostile towards my brother, that I'm hostile towards my sister. Really just waking up wishing the MOF would. But, yeah, sometimes you just have to give passes. We gotta learn how to give passes. And that's my, speaking point of the day. Now, for my final thought of the day, check 1, check 2. Okay, I'm there. I'm still here. So my final thought of the day is usually a pearl of wisdom, a gem, a jewel, something you can take with you, something it can resonate with you, and just something to, inspire critical thinking, or just, affirm to yourself. It's usually like, oh wow, I'm not the only one. My final thoughts. And my final thought of today is, I'm trying to think. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. I didn't write my final thought down, but I was thinking heavily upon it. Final thought of today is just make the most of it. You have to make the most of it. You got to make do, being original people. We've always been given the scraps. That's how soul food come to be. We got, we got to just take what we're given. We don't have to accept what we're given, but we got to take it and make the most of it. So you can wallow in self-pity. You can just sit around in a rut being like, this ain't fair, that ain't fair. This person did that to me. This person said that to me. This person's not messing with me no more. They did me dirty in the relationship. I don't do nothing to nobody. I don't bother nobody, but everybody's always taking jabs at me. You can live in that, or you can accept it and keep going on the path. It's your choice. Like, you can just like let every little bump in the road shake you, or you can just keep going. Because things are going to happen like out of your control. Things are going to happen that's just beyond your control. Like, circumstances and situations are going to happen. You just, period. That's life. No matter what ethnicity, color you are, that's just life, period. Things are just going to happen out of your control, and you got to accept it. You might not like it, you might not love it, but you do have to accept it, because it's going to happen whether you do or you don't accept it. It just is the way it is. There's nothing you can do to change it. So when those situations that occur that you cannot change, you got to change the way you think about them. You got to change the way you feel about them. It's like you got to say, okay, that happened, so now what? You got to have a now what. Get your now what plan. You can feel sad about it. Like, we're human beings. Like, don't try to act like it don't hurt you. If something's very traumatic for you, don't deceive yourself into acting like, that didn't hurt and it hurted you. Excuse me. I'm saying hurted. I don't know. Hurt you. Don't act like that didn't make you angry and it made you angry. What I'm saying is, don't suppress your emotions. Acknowledge your emotions, but then get into a space where you deal with them. Because if you don't deal with them, they're going to deal with you. So you don't want your emotions to deal with you. Deal with the situation, confront it, be like, dang, that was messed up. I didn't like this. And now what? And it's only up to you to figure out what the now what is. And I hope your now what isn't punch somebody in the face. I hope your now what ain't like get a gun and blam them up. But you got to have a productive, healthy now what. Productive, beneficial now what. Because whatever happened, it happened. You got to accept it. It just is what it is. So that's it. The Narrative Podcast in a complete nutshell. Like, I've had all my sections. I don't have any more material to present to you today. To keep my platform growing, I'm asking you to download this episode of the Narrative Podcast, as well as our previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. Because like I said, this platform is monetized, and that's, how I'm going to continue to grow it, how I'm going to be able to give you, a quality podcast and, do things, have more crisp, more clarity, maybe get an office space as opposed to the place I'm always doing this podcast, like an actual office space, switchboard and the little microphone and all that. But for right now, I'm just, these are the opening stages, but with your support, growing and growing and showing and showing. I also have my own personal poetry blog. It's called Halsey's Poetry Corner. I'm asking you to please support that. Visit www.mrhalseyblog.com. my tagline for that is poetry with a passion, poetry for all occasions. When you read one of my poems, you know exactly why. It's just like a whole gamut of relatable poems. They will definitely resonate with you. Either the entire poem or just a portion of it is guaranteed to fulfill you in some type of way. And they're all just right off the cuff. I don't premeditate anything. I'm just literally just typing it, and that's what it is as they come out. I try my very best to edit them and catch all the typos and the grammatical areas. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But yeah, try to get the repeated words and all that. But yeah, it's definitely my passion. And I am taking my passion to, the next level. I've already written a book, working on my publishing, working on different forms of it to get it out to you guys to read. So definitely, please support Halsey's Poetry Corner at www.mrhalseysblog.com. And how you support that is to, when you see one of my poems from that link, share it on all your platforms, share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Reddit, TikTok, whatever platform you got. Dig, do people still use Dig, Snapchat, whatever? Do people still use Snapchat? I haven't heard Snapchat for a minute, but, just share, Halsey's Poetry Corner poems on all platforms. So that'll do it for this edition of the Narrative Podcast. Thanks for listening. Join me next week for another full edition of the Narrative Podcast. And as always, tune in regularly because I go live. I don't never know what days, what time I'm going to go live, but always tune in to me wherever you get your podcast from to check and see if I'm live. On my live episodes, what I do is share articles, positive articles, and deliver commentary. So very good, frames of reference. The takeaway I want from my podcast is, to inspire how important it is to share positive content online. That's why I call my listeners my narrators. We are all narrators. We have the power to change the narrative or change the perception. That's why I call it the narrative, by just what you post. And my tagline originally for this podcast, before I had my epiphany about the word black, was the Narrative Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about black people and black culture. But since then, I've changed it to original. So the Narrative Podcast, destroying negative stereotypes one episode at a time about original people and original culture. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm dispelling those negative stereotypes, providing positive frames of reference, and urging you to share positive content. Share, stories about leadership. Share stories about unity. Share stories about networking, entrepreneurialism, people being good mothers, being good fathers. Share good stories about our children. We have that power to do that. You're a grown man, you're a grown woman, you can post whatever you feel like online. I'm not lecturing you. I'm just saying, for the greater good as a people, we should be sharing positive content online. That's all I'm saying. So, like I said, this will do it for this episode of the Narrative Podcast. I will see you next week, or this weekend. Or next weekend, this weekend. But, next weekend I have another full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Like I said, tune in regularly because I never know what day I'm going to go live, so you don't miss a live. The for sure way not to miss a live episode is follow me on YouTube, my viewer channel, Halsey Allen, set your alerts. And also follow me on Twitter, Halsey Allen. Because, this platform just automatically uploads my live episodes to Twitter and YouTube. So, I got a link for Facebook too, but for some odd reason it doesn't do it on Facebook. I don't know. Facebook or the Gram. I don't know why it doesn't just automatically do it on Facebook or Instagram, but it doesn't. But anyway, I just share the links on those. But yeah, thank you for your time. I hope you have a pleasant evening. Hope you have a good, productive week next week. Peace and love. Halsey Allen and the Narrative Podcast signing off. See you next time.
Set your face on fire. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, get a little bit of gasoline. Put a little bit of shit,
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.